Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Promoted Sandra. If this is the first time you are coming across this channel, thank you very much for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming back. Here on my channel, I do everything related to fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and skincare. Turn on post notification if you want to see more videos like this. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to sew a breast tube. I already made a video before on how I drafted this breast tube. Please do well to click the link at the description section or also at the comment section to watch the tutorials on how I drafted this breast tube. It is very easy, very easy to draft. This is the fabric we are going to be using. This is the scissors we are going to be using to cut it, and this is our pin to pin everything together. Okay, so this is what we are going to be doing. We are just going to fold our fabric like this. You fold it into two, then you place your pattern paper. Remember, this pattern paper is just one. Okay, this is how we drafted it. So when you want to cut it on your fabric, you don't need to cut just one like this. You fold your fabric into two like this, then you place your pattern paper on it like this. Make sure it's equal. So if you have light, you can go ahead to press your fabric first before cutting it. But if you don't have light, there's no big deal. Just pin it using your pin. Okay, so go ahead to use my pin and pin it down just like this. So once you are done pinning it, you go ahead to cut it. So when you are cutting it, make sure to add half an inch joining allowance. Just add half an inch round to join it to the other part. So this is it. So I'm going to be repeating same for the other ones. So what I'm going to be doing is to pin this down just like this. So I'll go ahead to cut it out. So when you're cutting it out, don't forget to add your half an inch joining allowance. Okay, so when it comes to the back here, you're not going to be adding any half an inch because meanwhile we've already added our sewing allowance. Remember, while we are cutting it, we already added our sewing allowance, so we're not going to be adding any half an inch to join it over there. But the upper part here, we are going to be adding half an inch. So I hope you can see it. So this is it. This is the back side. Okay, now for the back side, I'm going to be cutting it at once. I'm not going to be cutting two pieces. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting at just one piece for the back. Just watch out what I'm doing. This is just to make it very easy for you guys. Okay, so I'll go ahead to pin it down like this to my fabric. Then this other side, I will place it on it like this. Make sure the points here are meeting each other, and make sure the hole is covered. Okay, make sure the dart is covered. So I'll go ahead first of all pin this place. Then once I'm done pinning that place, I'll come down here and pin this place as well. I'm just doing this for the sake of those that are just new to cutting and sewing breast tube. If not, maybe on my next video we'll use the other method. So what we're going to be doing is to cut it out like this. Remember, we are supposed to remove this down part and we did not remove it, so we just cut it out like this, like this, like this. Then remove the zipper side like this. So this is it. Instead of cutting out two pieces, we ended up cutting out just one piece. So by so doing, you're not going to be sewing your dart again when you are sewing it, because like this, you've already removed the dart. So just know that when you are sewing it, you're not going to be sewing any dart again because you've already removed it by placing it like this. So I'm just going to remove the pattern paper. So this is how it's going to look. Okay, this is it. This is how it's going to look. I'll go ahead to cut out lining for both the front and the back. When you open it, this is how it's going to look like. So the next thing I'm going to be doing right now, I'm about to cut the breast tube. So I'm going to be cutting this. Okay, to cut the breast tube, I'm going to be using, I will remove this half. I'm not going to be using this again. Okay, so I will cut out this half like this. So I also cut this out like this.
you just cut it at depend on the size of your bust. Okay, so like this, I'm going to be cutting it like this. I'll place my, hope you guys can see me. I just hope you guys can see me. I'll place it like this. Depend on the size of your bust, just cut it at according to the size of your bust. So this is going to be serving for the side, and this one is going to be serving for the front. So I'll go ahead to place it on my breast tube like this. Then once I'm done placing it on it, I'll use my pin to pin it down. As you can see, I've already pinned it down. So once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead to cut it out like this. Remember, I folded the breast tube into two for the two sides. Okay. So you want to cut out the front piece, you make sure you fold your breast tube. Then you go ahead to cut it. At this upper part here, when it's time to cut out this upper part, so what you're going to be doing is to remove your and fold it in like this, because remember we are going to be sewing it at the up, so we don't want to sew the lining with the breast tube. So it is far better if you bend it down with maybe half an inch or 1 inch, depending on what you want. After pinning it down, you go ahead to cut it. So this side I have the gum is what you are going to be gumming to your fabric. So I'm just going to be showing you how I am doing this. So before you attach your breast tube to your fabric, you first of all go ahead to gum in cloth stain. So I've gone ahead to gum cloth stain to the breast tube. That is what I'm going to be doing for all the pieces. I'll go ahead to gum my breast tube. This is the side that has the shiny part. So this part that have the shiny part is the one that has the gum. Okay, so I'll place it on it like this. Make sure when you are doing it, it doesn't get to the up this place. It doesn't get to the up. Then you go ahead to pin it like this. So once I'm done holding it down, I'll go ahead to iron it.
So guys, I went ahead to do the same thing for the side front. Okay, then once I was done doing that, I went ahead to gum my breast tube on it. So I'm done gumming it. This is it. So what I'm going to be doing next is to take this to my sewing machine and sew it. So I'm just going to be showing you what to do. And guys, if you notice, you're going to see that I did not place this at the top. If you remember, you'll notice we actually cut out half an inch. So this is how it's going to look like on your dress. Just make sure you try as much as possible to place it right, most especially when it comes to this corner. Then once we are done doing that, the next thing we're going to be doing is to place our interface like this together, right side facing it right side. Then I'll go ahead to use your pin and pin it together like this. So this is it. So you're going to be repeating the same thing for the other side. Once you're done pinning it together, you take it to the same machine and sew it like this, and straight like this. Okay, so I'm going to be doing the same thing for the other side. Sew it like this, like this, like this. The same way you join this together, that is the same way you're going to be joining the lining together as well. Then I'm just going to keep that aside and show you how to do the back. Okay, because I'm just going to take all to my sewing machine and sew it right away. I was not able to add cloth stain to my lining. NEPA sees the light, so I don't know what they are going to be bringing the light. Okay, so if you have light, you can go ahead to gum stain on it. Okay, just to make it a little bit harder. For me, I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine and sew it right away. I don't think if I'll be waiting for NEPA. This is the back. So what you are going to be doing is you are just going to take the lining like this. Make sure you place the lining at the right side. So just pin it down like this. So once you are done pinning down the back, you take it to your sewing machine and sew it like this, just like this. This is the upper part. Then once you are done sewing the upper part, sew the down part like this. So I'm done sewing this part. I'll remove my pin. Then once I'm done doing that, I will sew the other part as well. So once you are done with that, you go ahead to notch it like this. So once you are done sewing it together, you go ahead to turn it with your lining. So I've gone ahead to sew my lining already. the right side of my lining is going to be facing the right side of my fabric. You go ahead to pin it together, just like as you can see me doing. So I've gone ahead to pin everything together. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to sew it from this end, like this, and like this, like this. Then you go ahead to launch it, most especially this center part. Then once you are done doing that, the next thing you're going to be doing is to top stitch. I'm just cutting out the excess, okay? So once you're done doing that, the next thing you're going to do is to sew the down side. So you're just going to sew the down, join it together like this, sew it like this, sew everything. So guys, we're just going to be sewing it the second time so that we'll avoid losing our time. Then once we are done with that, we'll go ahead to join the sides together like this. So we're just going to be sewing the other side. So when you want to sew the other side, you leave some space at the middle here so you'll be able to turn it out from that space, okay? We're just going to turn it out from this space we left. This is the upper part of the dress. I'll just go ahead to sew it like this. So after that, I'll go ahead to top stitch it. So I'll just open it like this. Like this. You can go ahead and top stitch it like this, but for me, I will just turn it like this. So guys, I've gone ahead to iron it out, and this is what we have after ironing it. So I also went ahead to iron at the back and sew it, and then attach the zip to the back side. Okay, so this is what we have. So the next thing we are going to be doing is to shaping it. Okay, so this is the last part. We are just going to shaping it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to place the back side like this to the front side. So once I was done doing that, I'll go ahead to pin it down like this. So once I was done doing that, I will go ahead to remove the sewing allowance that I added. So I'll take 1 inch from the start to the end. So the reason why I'm taking out 1 inch is because I added 1 inch sewing allowance. I'll go ahead to join the points together. So what I'm going to be doing is to take it to my sewing machine and sew this place together like this. I will sew it from up down to this place, and I will also sew this side like this down. So once I'm done, I'll come and show you guys how it looks like.